You're gonna be losing out on thousands of jobs if these companies just don't trade with America anymore. You think that the countries are just gonna stop trading with America?
The entire purpose that Trump has been stressing with the tariffs is that these companies will stop sending their goods here because it's no longer financially viable, which would force us to ramp up production in the US. That was the basis of the tariff. That was literally what Trump said. That's what Trump said. It's a banana farm, Denims. How much could a banana farm cost? $10. Let me pull up the mold video, shall we? It was his video on tariffs. I love this. Jim Cramer crashing out on Trump. Do we know who Jim Cramer is? Like, I know that's his whole show. Well, whatever. Let me see. He's made so many videos on this at this point. I gotta see this one. Let's see his opinions on Liberation Day.
Predictions. Yes, I have a handful of predictions. First prediction.
I want to see what he has to say about what he originally said about the tariffs.
Yes, but it would have been tough for a lot of countries who didn't want to do that. I'd like to see the chart if you have it. Could you bring it up, Howard? This is our great Secretary of Commerce, Howard Lutnick.
Oh, it's bald guy, right? Yeah. Oh, wait. Oh, I was going to ban him, but
if you look at that,
who cares?
China, first row. China. 67%. That's tariff.
That's really bad.
Charged to the USA, including currency manipulation and trade barriers. So 67%, I think you can, for the most part, see it. Those with good eyes, with bad eyes. We didn't want to bring, it's very windy out here. We didn't want to bring out the big charts because it had no chance of standing. Fortunately, we came armed with a little smaller chart. So it's 67%, so we're going to be charging a discounted reciprocal tariff of 34%. I think
that's reasonable.
In other words, they charge us, we charge them less. So how can anybody be upset?
Yeah, Vietnam.
They will be, because we never charge anybody anything.
Apparently Mexico roached out too.
European Union, they're very tough, very, very tough traders. You know, you think of European Union, very friendly. They rip us off. It's so sad to see. It's so pathetic. 39%, we're going to charge them 20%, so we're charging them essentially half. Vietnam, great negotiators, great people. They like me, I like them. The problem is they charge us 90%. We're going to charge them 46% tariff.
Damn.
Taiwan, where they took all of our computer chips and semiconductors. We used to be the king, right? We were everything. We had all of it. Now we have almost none of it, except the biggest company is coming in. We're going to end up with almost 40%. Lee Zeldin's working to get their approvals. And it's an amazing company. Mr. Wei, of one of the great companies of the world, actually. They're coming in from Taiwan, and they're going to build one of the biggest plants in the world, maybe the biggest for that. But 64%, we're going to charge them 32%. Japan. Very, very tough. Great people. And again, I don't blame the people for doing it. I think they're very smart in doing it. I blame the people that sat right in that Oval Office, right over there.
Who's that?
Right behind the Resolute desk, or whichever desk they chose. Japan, 46%. They would charge us 46%, and much higher for certain items like cars.
Yeah.
You know, little items like cars. 46%, we're charging them 24%. India, very, very tough. Very, very tough.
We got 12 more years of this, guys.
Prime Minister just left. And he's a great friend.
Yeah, let's make some jokes about how our country is going to become a dictatorship. That's funny.
Friend of mine, but I said, you're a friend of mine, but you're not treating us right. They charge us 52%. You have to understand, we charge them almost nothing for years and years and decades. And it was only 7 years ago when I came in, we started with China and charged them. We took in hundreds of billions of dollars from China in tariffs. And they understood, honestly. President Xi understood. He said, look, I understand. And the other countries, and they all understand. We're going to have to go through a little tough love, maybe, but they all understand. They're ripping us off, and they understood it. Prime Minister of Japan, Shinzo Abe.
Bro.
He was a fantastic man. He was unfortunately taken from us, assassination. But I went to him and I said, Shinzo, we have to do something. A trade is not fair. He said, I know that.
Him up.
I know that.
That's
And
crazy.
he was a great gentleman. He was a fantastic man, but
I wonder
he
if
understood
he saw
immediately
the
what I
memes.
was talking about. I said, Shinzo, we have to do something. He said, I know that. And we worked out a deal, and it would have been a much better deal, but frankly, there were many years left on the deal that was made previous to my getting there, but it was something. If you look at Switzerland, 61% to 31%, Indonesia, Malaysia, Cambodia. Oh, look at Cambodia, 97%. We're going to bring it down to 49. They made a fortune with the United States of America. United Kingdom, 10%.
Also, with the context that these are not reciprocal tariffs, this is just like, I think it's imports over the deficit. I think, is it deficit over imports? It's one of the two. So it's literally just we're charging them tariffs because we enjoy the goods that they make. Like the only thing that does is get them to stop, get every single country to stop exporting goods to us. A lot of goods which cannot be replaced easily. I mean, there's this tweet that I think makes fun of it pretty well. I look forward to buying American coffee, bananas, and black pepper. Don't worry, Hawaii just needs to ramp up production of Kona coffee about 1,000 times what they would need to meet current demand. Yeah, they got it. And then they've been posting this photo of like shipping coffee to from the Hawaii to like the States, $176 for 16 ounces. Or sorry, 2 pounds. Excellent, good. That's a steal, I think. I think that's a good price for coffee. That seems reasonable.
And we'll go 10%. So
also, did you see that it turns out the calculation is what all the big AI suggests if you want to get debt down fastest, but they ignored the warning at the end about it being dangerous? No, it's fine. You can trust AI totally and completely. Like when Google AI suggestions were telling you to put glue in your pizza.
we'll do the same thing.
Yep.
South Africa, 60%, 30%, and they've got some bad things going on in South Africa. You know, we're paying them.
This doesn't even change the fact also that like there's countries on this list that don't have any people on them. It's just like an island that has penguins on it. And we're just starting to charge these places 10% flat rate. Because why not?
Billions of dollars, and we cut the funding because
Fuck
a lot of bad things are
dude.
happening
Fuck
in South
them.
Africa. The fake news ought to be looking at
Penguins in herd McDonald Island right now.
it. They don't want to report it.
The bad thing is Musk. Say psych right now. Say psych right now, man. It's a bait, right? It's just you're just trolling. You're trolling. You're just baiting me, right?
Brazil,
You're
10%,
just baiting me,
10%.
come on.
Bangladesh is 74%. So you see what's going on. Pakistan, 58%.
That's a lot.
Sri Lanka, 88%.
That's the second from
So
the
what
bottom.
we're doing is we're taking not the full, we could take the full 88%. Thanks a lot. He's doing a very good job. How's he doing? All right. I think you better take it.
Oh, maybe they're saying the bad thing from South Africa is Elon Musk. Oh, maybe you're right. Maybe that's the joke. In which case, Chatter, you're very funny.
With you, it's not going to last very long. He's going to put it, it's going to follow you down with the wind. I brought a hat just in case it got too windy, but here, would anybody like a hat? I'm not giving it to a cabinet. I'm giving it to the auto workers. Come here.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. This is apparently why an island full of penguins got tariffed. Note that the tariffs are not broken down by country. They're broken down by top-level internet domain. That's why islands that are populated entirely by penguins, the HM domain, and why the Diego Garcia military base are listed. Also why Reunion, RE, Gibraltar, GI, are listed separately from France and UK. They 100% used an LLM to generate this list and didn't catch the mistake because they're all dumb as rocks.
Oh my fucking
Thank you, fellas. Get it. That's it. That's it.
Man.
They deserve it more than our cabinet. Our cabinet has plenty of hats. But you see the numbers. The numbers are so disproportionate. They're so unfair. At the same time, we will establish a minimum baseline tariff of 10%. You notice that on the chart? And that'll be on other countries to help rebuild our economy and to prevent cheating. So we're going to have a minimum of cheating, and we're going to be very severe on the people that at the gate that watch the tariffs and watch the product coming in, because there's been a lot of bad things happening at the gate because the money is so enormous that you're talking about. There's never been probably anything like it in terms of the enormity. And there are a lot of bad things happen at the people that do the check-in, and they're looking at 10 years.
Yes, the tariff gate. The tariff checking in gate.
Jail sentences if they do play. We're going to treat them so good, but if they cheat, the repercussions are going to be extremely strong. Foreign nations will finally be asked to pay for the privilege of access to our market, the biggest market in the world. We're right now the biggest market in the world. We had a great country 4 years ago in terms of the economics. We were doubling up on China. We were doing so well. Nobody was going to catch us, but so much of it slipped away over the last 4 years under Biden. I campaigned on this policy throughout last year, and today that promise was made, and it was also a promise, as you know, that was kept. Promises made, promises kept.
He did say he was going to do it.
To any company that objects to our common sense reciprocal tariffs, again, reciprocal, back and forth, back and forth.
Yep.
And I call this kind reciprocal. This is not full reciprocal. This is kind reciprocal. But what we do is we cut it in half. We charge them. My answer is very simple. If they complain, if you want your tariff rate to be zero, then you build your product right here in America, because there is no tariff if you build your plant, your product in America. And we've seen companies coming in like we've never seen before. Likewise to all of the foreign presidents.
Meanwhile, most recently, BMW is most likely going to pull its production from the U.S. because it's just not worth it to send their engines here for manufacturing and then send them back, given the tariffs. So like we've at least lost some jobs for companies that like to import to factories that are here and then export. Yay!
Presidents, prime ministers, kings, queens, ambassadors, and everyone else who will soon be calling to ask for exemptions from these tariffs. I say, terminate your own tariffs, drop your barriers, don't manipulate your currencies. They manipulate their currencies like nobody can even believe, which is a bad...
BMW's woke anyways. You're right. No, you're right, and you should say it. Terminate your own tariff, the tariffs that don't currently exist.
Bad thing and very devastating to us, and start buying tens of billions of dollars of American...
Stellantis also just laid off a bunch of people as well. Barriers are so bad in Canada, we can barely trade effectively internally. Reuters said that UK's Jaguar Land Rover is going to pause its shipment to the US over tariffs. Woo, yeah! This is so good. I heard that BMW stands for Black Migrant Women, aka DEI. Oh my God, we have to get it out now. American
goods. Tariffs give our country protection against those that would do us economic harm, and many people were looking to do us economic harm. Maybe not so obviously, but they were doing tremendous economic harm. But even more importantly, they will give us growth. These tariffs are going to give us growth like you haven't seen before. And it'll be something very special to watch. I am so looking forward. And Brian, it's going to happen even faster than you said. You know, you might say, but it's already started. It's already started.
I've spent most of my career in the plants around Detroit. Expect to see layoffs at suppliers around 3 to 4 months, and the big 3 shortly after.
Work's already begun on plants all around the country, and you see that as before. These are big, rich companies. We have $61 billion started.
Okay, I'm going to assume Asmongold isn't going to say anything for the next however long Trump is talking, and he's just going to say, whoa, that seems reasonable.
Wow.
That's a good one.
So let's skip ahead to where Trump isn't talking anymore.
executive.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Not only is he doing that he said he was going to do, he is doing. And not only is he doing it, but it seems like it is working. The Mexico is not doing retaliatory tariffs either. It seems like there's a bunch of countries roaching out with this. They said they were going to do it, but, you know, when it comes down to it, it doesn't happen. And really not that big of a surprise. And Xbox in America, right? Yeah, there's going to be American Xboxes now. That's right. And so there we go. And I'm not surprised about this. I don't think really hard. Trump fixed the Loot Council. Yep, that's right. And that's why Trump won't respect them. Yep, we've been in a recession, for fuck's sake. I feel like you can't make... The thing is that you're not going to be able to like really use the stock market messaging as an effective tool to make people think that these decisions are bad, because most people that are in favor of them don't have stocks to begin with because they don't have the capital. Like, these are people that don't have jobs that are good. They don't have any capital to have in the stock market. So like when this perspective value of the company is going down, this isn't going to be relevant to them. What's relevant to them is how much are their groceries, how much is gas, how much are these things. So
no, whether or not the company you work for goes out of business is relevant to you, because then you won't have a job anymore.
You can make appeals to the stock market, etc., but that's not.
This also doesn't change the fact that so many people have 401ks. Like, huh? What?
Going to really appeal to an average person. I'm telling you guys, that's what it's going to be, right? That's what it's going to be. You're not going to understand it, but if you talk to somebody this like this, you will. And yeah, Trump is literally taking from the rich and giving jobs to the poor. Well, we'll see what happens.
It's like, you don't understand like how hard it is for me to like come to terms with the fact that these are real people. Like, I don't know what to do when I see stuff like this. When I see these type of hogs. Are you happy you voted for Trump? Yes, and I was buying a Switch too, but now that they made it a political thing, I'm out. Wait, who made this a political thing? Nintendo just did ... Didn't you read the article? What do you say to someone like this? What do you say to someone like this? What do you say? Open the skulls. Or like this person. In theory, how fast could Nintendo move production of hardware to Ohio? 2 to 3 months? Like, I don't know what to do. We really have to share a society with people who neither understand how things work nor are willing to learn. I just checked. My 401k has lost $4,000 since last month. That's actually good. You're just a hater because you hate Trump. Okay?
Right? But let me go back. He can announce anything and people would hate it. I mean, some people would, right? I mean, I don't know about everybody, but like there definitely are some people that would get mad. But yeah, that's kind of what I think is going to happen. And it's going to continue happening too. So dumb. Tariffs are a regressive tax. Well, then why are the other countries doing it to us?
They're just importing a lot of goods to the US at a cheaper cost than what it would take for us to make it here. And in some instances, because we can't make it here. Like, we have one state that has a tropical enough climate to grow things like coffee beans or to grow like bananas. And we cannot ramp up production in Hawaii to the point where we can meet every American's desires and needs for coffee. Like, it's not, ignoring the fact that you would still need a bunch of time to even build that production. Like, let's say you try to do it. You're like, okay, we're going to make all the coffee Americans need here in the US. That would take years. Don't even get me started on vanilla. Like, I don't even think it's feasible to grow that much vanilla in the States. Denims, how long would it take to move Hawaii to Ohio? 2 to 3 months? It's fine, Denims. I'm going to start growing mangoes in Ohio. How long could it take? 2 to 3 months? Oh my God. Trees have to come to age. There's also a question about like how much land you would need to even grow these things, right? It's a banana farm, Denims. How much could a banana farm cost? $10. Why don't we just grow all of our cars here too? To explain again, Chad, just to be very clear, when it comes to like trade, if we cannot reasonably make that good in bulk, and it doesn't make sense for us to make that good in bulk, we shouldn't make that good in bulk, and we should allow instead other countries to make it, and we can buy it for pretty cheap. Oh my God. It's so frustrating because this is like the very, like, this is like Econ 101. Like, this is such basic shit that when it comes to trading, at least of like natural resources, both countries are better off by the trade. Objectively, both countries are better off by the trade. When it comes to labor-intensive goods that can be produced by both nations, now it gets more complicated. Generally speaking, both countries will be better off, but the people in the countries will be worse off. The lowest paid workers will be worse off. And that's still not an always, right? Labor is where things change a little bit. When it comes to just natural resources that are available in a country versus natural resources that are just not available in other countries, it literally doesn't make any sense at all to tariff those goods. It doesn't make any sense.
If they're a regressive tax and they're bad, then why are they doing it to us? You're retarded. You're gonna be losing out on thousands of jobs if these companies just don't trade with America anymore. You think that the countries are just gonna stop trading with America? Trade with America. You're retarded. You're gonna be losing out on thousands of jobs if these companies just don't trade with America anymore. You think that the countries are just gonna stop trading with America?
China would like a word.
The entire purpose that Trump has been fucking stressing with the tariffs is that these companies will stop sending their goods here because it's no longer financially viable, which would force us to ramp up production in the US. That was the basis of the tariff. That was literally what Trump said. That's what Trump said. You have no clue what you're talking about. You have no clue about vertical farming and importing coffee plants fully grown. What economists have been talking about for literally months now with regard to tariffs is that blanket tariffs are a terrible economic decision for everyone involved. You have to invest prior to the tariffs so that if we decide we want to grow a bunch of coffee beans here in the US, we can import them, import the fully grown coffee plants, which, like, I'm sure there's a lot of sellers in the exporting of fully grown coffee plants. For starters, let's just talk about that. But you would have to invest before placing the tariffs. And then you can place the tariffs. Brahma farmer, this shit is impossible.
Hey, smiley face.
Vertical farming is one of those things that's like, it's really cool. And on paper, it's really cool. But in practice, actually getting it to work is very fickle and very expensive. Not to mention the fact that if you want to be growing coffee beans here in a climate where coffee beans aren't meant to grow, now you have to build giant greenhouses for all the coffee that Americans consume.
Don't worry. I'm sure Target is just going to open a garment factory instead of raising prices and waiting for the tariffs to go away.
You are finally getting smart. We have plenty of land, unused land all over the place. Do you know how long it takes to build a vertical farm? Do you know how long it takes to build a greenhouse? Days. Days. It takes days, guys. Oh my God. How long could it take to build a banana farm, Michael? 10 days? This motherfucker imagines it the way that, like, you go to a UPS and you're like, when will it get there? Like 2 to 3 business days? And they're like, yeah, about. He thinks we can just do that with like an entire banana farm, an entire coffee bean farm. I don't even know how people like that. I don't know how people like that, like, remember to breathe, dude. I just, you're a moron. You have no clue what you're talking about. If it's modular and prefab, you have 100 works. It takes days. You have zero clue how the world really works. This is, I'm going to be honest, chat, I can't tell if this is like divorced 40-year-old that's spending his Sunday day drinking or teenager. It's like a 50-50 like coin flip here on this one. We can't even house the homeless yet. This fool wants to house the banana and coffee. You don't understand. The houses aren't prefabbed and modular, okay? Oh, God, dude. God bless you, man. God bless you. It's also like a fundamental misunderstanding of how, again, like economics works. Like the thing is, economic policy dictates that when countries have a natural abundance of resources and just land that is more suitable or climate that's more suitable for one resource versus another resource or one crop versus another crop, it is just more profitable for both states to trade. It benefits both countries equally. Well, maybe not equally. Usually the country that is importing is hurt, but the benefit is outweighed if that country can export, which most countries are built on something that they don't just exist with nothing, right? Most countries are exporting goods, either manufacturing, labor, etc. Comparative advantage, yes. And that's why currently that's the current business model. That's why free trade and the invisible hand has like dictated the global economy for forever, right? Because again, at the very least, when it comes to materials, natural resources, climate that's more suitable for X, Y, or Z, it's better to trade. Labor is where it gets more complicated. Clearly, you just have to go to your local Walmart, buy a prefabbed coffee bean factory, and you can 3D print your own bananas. This is 2025. Oh, God. If tariffs are meant to grow domestic industry, why is Trump telling other countries to zero out their tariffs and turn the entire planet into a free trade zone? Hey, stop trying to make sense of it. Stop. How dare you? Stop it. Yeah, and this really gets to like the root of what I'm talking about here. And now instead we should use a crazy amount of resource inputs for an unnatural crop so that the price is high regardless. Think about like even just people, your yard, how people have started moving towards planting crops, or not crops, vegetation, I guess, that is native to the land. It just requires less maintenance because the environment's already suited for it. Trying to grow grass in a desert so you can have like a grass lawn is just not worth it because the amount of water that you have to use to maintain it is ridiculous. So a lot of people have started moving towards planting native crops, or like, again, not crops, vegetation, in their yards because it's more efficient. That environment's already suited for that specific vegetation, right? In the same way, every single addition in cost and every single addition in the input to be able to start growing bananas or coffee beans here, that makes the cost of it go up and up and up and up to the point where it's almost not worth it to do it here. So let's say we spend the next 5 years let's just say for coffee. Americans can go without bananas. It's fine. Except for that one guy that has to do his morning routine with the Saratoga, Ashton Hall. Okay, but whatever. Let's just talk about it for a second. We can make without bananas. We're good. Coffee. I think most Americans really enjoy their coffee. I think it was like 3 in 4 Americans have coffee like at least once a day. So a pretty high number. Let's say we build multiple giant greenhouses. We dedicate a lot of resources to making this crop able to grow because normally it cannot grow in this environment. We grow all of the fucking giant vertical farms, which there's a reason why current farming doesn't utilize vertical farming. It's because it's very expensive and it's not really feasible. And it's way more simple to just grow on the land. it doesn't scale as well. It's again, we'll get into it in a little bit. So you dedicate all of these resources. I think now normally like you can get like a shitty bag of coffee beans for like $6. A normal sized coffee bean bag, like a pound. Maybe like some really nice stuff is like $20. Let's just call it 10. Let's just call it 10 even. All of the extra resources, all of the special fertilizer that we would need to make it more, to make the dirt more hospitable for that plant, all of the resources in greenhouses to be able to grow it here, all of the resources in vertical farming to grow it here, all of that is going to increase the cost of it. And then you take a bag that's normally like $10 and now it's like $20 or $30 or $40. And now suddenly if you want coffee, you can only get the coffee that's grown in America. But because it's so expensive to grow it in America, because this climate isn't made for coffee, now if you want it, it's expensive as fuck. And this isn't even talking about the fact that certain crops are just unbelievably finicky. I talked about this yesterday with regard to vanilla bean. Vanilla bean comes from a flower. I actually never showed it, but here. Okay, I'm struggling to find it, but that's okay. It's from a flower. That's the TLDR. And it's also like unbelievably fickle. If you've grown any flowers before, you know that growing flowers is so difficult and unbelievably fickle to grow because they're fucking flowers. They need a particular climate and they need a lot of attention and they need a lot of care. And it's very easy to have your entire fucking crop decimated off of like a variety of things.
Vanilla
Orchids
is
are
the world's
picky.
second most expensive spice.
I didn't mean to post.
Valoran'ny vanilla izay hitantsika eto amin'ity toerana androany dia
Value of vanilla we see here today is about 2.3 million euros. Holy.
And the East African island of Madagascar produces roughly 80% of the global supply. Here, farmers have to pollinate 40 million orchids that only bloom for one day a year.
If you pull it, sorry, wait. If you pull suddenly, it will literally crush itself and cannot become a vanilla bean.
Only then will a vanilla bean or pod grow. Inside are the seeds and oils used in popular desserts. But Madagascar is still one of the poorest countries in the world.
Volatility of the vanilla prices, this bust and boom, creates such a toxic environment there.
Farmers can earn more when the price of vanilla is high, but rampant inflation often follows. And the big bucks attract thieves, who attack farmers and steal crops. Today, farmers arm themselves to defend their vanilla.
Ny ologno mpamboly lavany kofa very lavany zany efa ratsy ny fiainana satria sisy raha manidy bola aminazy.
Farmers can plunge into extreme poverty when prices are low. The government has tried to stabilize the price, but it's backfired. And now global customers are turning to other countries for cheaper vanilla. As locals fight to protect Madagascar's green gold, they worry how much more they, the land, and this crop can take.
That's crazy. Anyways, the idea that you can immediately start growing this in America, first of all, we don't have the climate, so you'd have to build giant greenhouses for it, which is unbelievably expensive, which would already make one of the most expensive spices more expensive, which would automatically make anything that uses vanilla more expensive. But the idea that you can train all of these people to be able to do this, like what, in the course of 2 or 3 months, and that you could suddenly start growing all of these in the course of 2 or 3 months, that there are countries that are selling fully viable vanilla bean plants as if they wouldn't automatically just start using that to make more profit. It's not feasible. It's not realistic. And it's also a waste of our time and energy and money because we will never be able to produce it at the cost that they produce it at because we don't have the climate for it. Anyways, I don't want to harp too long on it. You guys get the idea. Cinnamon also. Yep.
Their entire economy is built off of America. And if Trump cuts them off and doesn't do that, they're going to fall apart. And it's going to be a lot worse than any tariff that we can do to them. That's it. And so anyway, yeah, that's not what's going to be. Not all countries. No. But some of them definitely that will happen. And so, yeah, people are mad that we're still only tariffing half of what they do to us. Well, the thing is that he was including the currency valuation as well into that number. So that's the reason why the numbers and the values were different. That's kind of what I would assume. And Canadian Steel's already losing jobs. Yeah, does it get tiring explaining things to retards? No, not really. I mean, the problem is that, and this is a big issue that a lot of people have, and the main weakness that a lot of these people have is that they're not able to really see things from the point of view of an average person. So a big thing for average people is that the value of stocks and the value of companies, like these perspective, like theoretical trillions of dollars, these numbers don't exist in the mind of an average person. This is all just like bullshit, fake, made up numbers. What these people care about is the money in and the money out on a monthly basis. And that's what really matters more than anything. And so if that's what's changing and that's what matters, then that's what's really going to appeal to an average audience of just like normal people, right? Yeah, it's everyone in 401ks. No, definitely. But there's a lot of people who don't even have that.
Let me see the number. 70 million Americans have a 401k. Sure, man. Sure. Those people, they can go fuck themselves. Yeah, they can go. That's fine. That's fine. It's fine. A quarter of Americans, who gives a fuck about those people? Yeah, who cares about those? Those people don't matter. That doesn't matter. Oh my God. And it doesn't change the fact that even if you don't have a 401k, okay, even if you don't, what about the fact that you're going to lose your job? What about the fact that everything that you want to buy is suddenly now way more expensive, or you can't buy it because they're no longer exporting it to our country anymore? Let me buy the American Nintendo.
And I'm watching you just to what stupid Americans think, to find out what they think. Yeah, that's it. And tariffs quite literally raise prices on actual goods, though. Well, that's the thing, is that Trump is basically, this is what I think that he's doing.
Love this guy. He has no idea what he's talking about, but he wings it so hard, most confidently, idiotic takes with absolutely no thought behind them. Yeah, you just don't get it, man. You just don't get it. You just don't understand, man. You just don't understand what it's like to be the smartest person in the room and know that Trump knows what he's doing and we should just trust the plan.
Is that you're absolutely right that tariffs will raise prices on the goods. But if tariffs would only raise prices on the goods and all the tariffs do are punish their own citizens, then why do these countries threaten tariffs back at us? Well, it's because it can be used as a weapon also. That's the reason why. So obviously, like, people always keep using this argument, oh, well, Trump is using these tariffs and like it's only going to hurt Americans. Well, if Trump is only going to hurt Americans with tariffs, then why are all these other countries, why were they peacocking around about putting tariffs back on us? Do they want to hurt their own citizens too? Obviously not. But this clear, like, weird fucking distinction here, it's bad for both. I know.
This is such an effective trade strategy. Threaten tariffs on other people, so they threaten tariffs on you, so you both drop them.
No, and that's the truth, is that it is bad for both of them. And Trump is relying on these
Part
companies,
of the deal.
or not companies, countries, their risk aversion. Basically, this is going to hurt them more than it will hurt us. And they will be too afraid to hurt themselves that badly. So they will let us take advantage of them, or in some way or another have a better or a more fair trade deal. That's it. And so that's basically what the goal. That, well, sure, it is. Well, why do you think Canada and Mexico aren't going to do it now? And Vietnam?
Literally, I don't even. You're threatening to hurt your economy in the short term, and in some instances in the long term, and their economy. So they counter, like, bluff. And then you both drop the tariffs. Like, what are we doing here?
Vietnam isn't going to do it. Why do you think that is? Yeah, why? Like, I mean, it's obviously why.
It's obviously why. Well, he also later made a video talking about how Trump nuked the economy. So let's watch this one. I think it'll be good. Right, guys?
What are my view on the tariffs? I don't know. I don't think anybody really knows. I think that it's massive. Destabilizing. I know people, I've had friends of mine contact me and they've said, like, yeah, bro, like, our company is like way worse. Like, we have this massive issue. We're thinking about doing layoffs, right? So like I've had people tell me like that they're really bad.
Markets are open and you might want to turn away or maybe not. It's 2 days now. The news is tough out there now with the tariff announcement. Already in 5 minutes of trading, we're off about 2.5% for the Dow 30. So we're below 40,000 now for the first time in some time. I'd say about a year. On the broad.
It is not unthinkable to me that this number might be a 2 within a year. I think it could go down by that much.
Market, the S&P 500 trading lower about 2.5 percentage points.
I don't think it will, by the way. Like, in my opinion,
I don't even know what to say to this, man. I think this thing could happen. I don't think it will happen, but I think it could. I think the economy could get a lot worse. That's what I think, but I don't think it'll happen.
I think that a lot of these tariffs are just brinkmanship, and it's not actually something that's going to happen in the long term. I think that a lot of people are expecting Trump to use these tariffs as negotiating chips and not necessarily like a solid foundation for policy. That's the reason, and like that's what I think people are thinking. But if he does keep them, I could see it going down substantially.
The NASDAQ is down even more at 3%. Yeah. So in the past 30 minutes, the president, who is now in Florida at Doral for the LIVE event, he posted this. So the many investors coming to the United States and investing massive amounts of money.
So what the NASDAQ's at right now? Down 8.5% in the past 5 days. And dropping! And dropping!
My policies will never change. This is a great time to get rich, richer than ever before. I will remind you that China announced its retaliatory tariffs around 5 a.m. Eastern time today to the tune of 35% for American products going into China.
What's your prediction for tomorrow? It's going to keep going. It's going to keep going.
So that was the latest move. We'll see how it bounces back and forth throughout the day and into the weekend as we move forward. All right, this from last night, Air Force One.
Dude, I should have bought puts immediately on the 3rd.
What we have a set of tariffs based on what they've been charging us. That's reciprocal. And those tariffs have come in and every country's called us. That's the beauty of what we do. We put ourselves in the driver's seat.
President Trump.
Yep, that's right.
Can you explain what a put is? The short version is you bet that the stock or the like SPY or like NASDAQ, you just bet that that thing that you're putting money into is going to go down. And you make money when it goes down. You're betting against that. So a short, basically, yeah. The way that it functions is a little different, but it's just, you're just gambling on red instead of green. And you make money if you win. The concern about shorting or with puts is that you can lose an infinite amount of money because a company can infinitely grow. Whereas if you're betting that a company will do well, it can only drop to a certain amount, right? But yeah, puts are with options so you can make more money faster, basically.
And the only problem
or lose money faster.
Think he's putting himself in the driver's seat and then driving directly into a wall. That's the issue. And now, is that wall the Great Wall of China? We're going to find out.
Somewhat downplaying the initial market reaction to his tariff plan. He's betting Americans will tolerate the short-term downturn if it means restoring manufacturing here in the U.S. Free Press columnist Batya Ungar Sargon writes that with Trump's Liberation Day plan, he's delivering on one of his campaign promises. She is our guest now. I'm sorry about that, but your name is unusual, but people are going to get to know you. You wrote a column.
I hate this woman. I hate her. MAGA leftist. I hate her.
Is getting a lot of attention. It said this: how did he steal the working class from the Democrats? Well, in the most obvious way, by purloining their pro-labor agenda. He has.
Well, the reason why is because you can't have a you can't have a party of people who constantly think that and talk down to voters. And I think this is the way that a lot of I think working class people believe, is that they view Democrats as ivory tower intellectuals that add basically no value to society. Whereas in a lot of cases, these are people that have like physical labor jobs and things that, you know, provide some sort of tangible effect to society. And so when they're being talked down to by some graphic artist that, you know, like uses Photoshop for a living to make pretty pictures, and they get told,
What's with the random dig at artists, dude? That's really mean to the guy who makes your thumbnails, okay?
learn to code from this person, they're not going to appreciate that at all. You think they're smarter than yeah, you think you're smarter than me? Exactly. That's exactly the way they feel.
More to the point, Democrats haven't run on like a good populist position in like ages. To be clear, Republicans don't run on it either. They just pretend to run on it, right? This is everything that is happening right now under Trump's administration. That was always the plan. There's a chart that tracks all of the Project 2025 goals and how much has been achieved so far. This is it, project2025.observer. And you can see out of the 300 total goals, we're about 42% done. And it lists all of the objectives within all of these administrations or public services, and it shows how many of these things are getting completed. But again, Project 2025 was always the playbook. They're just doing it, and people are acting surprised. But I mean, people on the left have tried to sound the alarm on Project 2025 in ages. For ages. Like literally, it was so bad that Trump literally had to start saying, I don't know anything about Project 2025. I've never heard it in my life. I never heard it in my life. And you can see here, it lists like some of the goals. So for example, cutting the budget of the US aid. And it views the source on like what it says in Project 2025. Let me click this for you guys one sec. And it'll source the exact page of the Project 2025 where they talk about reducing US aid funding. The thing is, Republicans are too lazy to read, so they haven't bothered to look into Project 2025 at all. Here's a link for anyone who wants it, by the way. I'll send it to you guys. So they didn't understand that when people were saying that the Trump administration is going to be worse this time around because he's just going to follow the 2025 guidebook, he's doing that right now. And he's going to keep doing that. Like, why? It's not like this is very straightforward. This is super straightforward. Did Heritage Foundation put this out? Well, they didn't put out the tracker, but they put out, the Heritage Foundation worked heavily on the Project 2025 goals.
Forced the border and is now instituting widespread tariffs, implementing a broad protectionist agenda committed to reshoring manufacturing and giving the working class a boost, the likes of which we haven't seen since the New Deal. Tell me about your column and the reaction to it.
Do you know, it's so amazing. This morning on one of the liberal channels, I saw
is the most popular politics streamer.
It's very easy to farm and like to, it would be very easy to grift to the Republican Party because you don't have to actually do any research. You can just say, this is common sense, guys, obviously. These are common sense policies. We need to bring everything here. We need to bring all the manufacturing here.
Democrat congressman, and he was just sitting there saying, I have no idea why President Trump is doing this. They simply cannot understand why he is implementing the tariffs because the answer.
Well, the thing is, like, if you voted for Trump, this is very important. If you voted for Trump and you're upset about these tariffs, you kicked yourself in the dick.
Wait, he's actually saying something true. He's actually, this is the first correct thing he said all day so far.
He was going to do this the entire time. He said, guys, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this, guys. Guys, guess what I'm gonna do? Boys, have you heard about my favorite word? So yeah, seriously, so anybody who's voted for Trump, who's complaining about these tariffs, you are so dumb.
Oh my God.
He said this from the beginning.
Dude, no wonder this video only has 500,000 views. People hated this video. Oh my God.
This is one of the only things Trump has been consistent on even. You can look at interviews from Trump in 1980, and he's talking about tariffs. Really? He's talking about even then.
Answer is simple. He is choosing Main Street over Wall Street. He has chosen to bet on the American working class instead of on the rich elites.
That's right. That's exactly it. And that's the reason why you see so many of these people on social media that are unhappy about it, it's because they're the ones that have a bunch of money in the lawsuit.
I mean, I'm pretty sure he recently like retweeted or Truth Social the video, which basically suggested that Trump's entire plan was to crash the economy. Because you have to understand, in like periods of time of financial distress and difficulty, like with COVID, it's an easy way for a massive wealth transfer to occur. Again, it happened in COVID, most notably, or most offensive. The most offensive thing that happened was grocery stores making insane amounts of profit. And guess what? They recognize that groceries are an inelastic good, which means you need it. It's not like a fucking yacht where you can just choose to not buy a yacht. You need food, you need water, you need housing. And so when supply chains stabilized, grocery store outlets just continued to charge a higher rate, because why wouldn't they? And so the price of inelastic goods drastically dropped back to pre-COVID levels, but the price of food did not. I mean, Kroger had to admit after an investigation that they were price gouging. Yeah, he tweeted this out, or sorry, truthed this out.
Trump is crashing the stock market by 20% this month, but he's doing it on purpose. And this is why Warren Buffett just said Trump is making the best economic moves he's seen in over 50 years. Now, here's the secret game he's playing, and it could make you rich. So why is he doing this? To push cash into treasuries, which forces the Fed to slash interest rates in May, and those lower rates give the Fed the ability to refinance trillions of debt very inexpensively.
Not true.
It also weakens the dollar and
I refuse to believe that Warren would say that. I don't believe that for a second.
Mortgage rates. Now, it's a wild chess move, but it's working. Now, you're probably wondering, what about his tariffs? Well, I'll tell you, it's a genius play. It actually forces companies to build here to dodge them. It also forces farmers to sell more of their products here in the U.S. to bring grocery prices way down. We've already seen this with eggs. Now, remember, 94% of all...
This doesn't even make any sense at all, because egg prices were up because of bird flu, not for any other reason.
Stocks are owned only by 8% of Americans. So Trump, he's taking from the rich short term and handing it to the middle class through lower prices.
Oh, mega lol. What universe do we live in where like Trump is posting this video on his Truth Social that says, I am crashing the economy on purpose. And then people say, like Asmongold, well, really, I'm the Trump understander. It's all a bargaining move. He's not actually going to do this. When is someone going to make a video? This is trickle-down economics, but unironically. Oh, yeah, it's only a matter of time.
Or sorry, in the stock market. And I don't know why I said lawsuit. And I think they're permanent. He's talking about abolishing income tax under $150,000. Yes. And this is like almost all identity politics is, in my opinion, a...
Mao Zedong, what is this video?
Proxy for class warfare. And I think that this is one.
Yes, this was what I was talking about. Buffett denies, okay, social media rumors after Trump shares wild claim that investor backs president crashing market. Dude, I know Warren Buffett woke up and he was pissed when he saw that. He's like, I would never back something so fucking stupid. Oh my God, he probably was just more upset that anything that dumb would be credited to him. The narrator falsely states, this is why Warren Buffett just said Trump is making the best economic moves he's seen in over 50 years. Oh God. Buffett 94 didn't single out any specific post, but his conglomerate Berkshire Hathaway outright rejected all comments claimed to be made by him. There are reports currently circulating on social media, including Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, regarding comments allegedly made by Warren Buffett. All such reports are false, the company said in a statement Friday.
One of the first examples that you can really see of like this class warfare taking into effect. And I think that there are...
It must have been a different Warren. It was a different Warren, okay? It was the other one, the other really famous one.
A lot of people that are in like the Trump like Republican Party that are actually extremely far left with their economic policy, but only for Americans. Like, basically, they have no problem giving a lot of money to other people in America.
What?
But only for Americans. Like, basically, They have no problem giving a lot of money to other people in America. They just don't want it going to Mexico. And you're seeing these people come forward now. America first, exactly. America first. I love this. Yes. And so that's the big difference.
This is astonishing because for 60 years, presidents on both sides of the aisle have sided with the rich over the hardest working Americans, the American working class.
That's exactly it. And I think that's the way people have seen it. And this is just a good little example. The wealthiest top 10% of households own over 85% of corporate stock. This is, again, what I was saying. Is people are fighting back against this. And so, yeah, that's, well, no shit. Yeah, exactly. Isn't it funny how that works? It is.
And, you know, I used to have the Trump derangement syndrome. You know, I started out as a lefty, a liberal. I really, really couldn't understand the draw people had.
Are there really no good Sargons?
To this president. But over time, I've come to see that he is simply the inheritor of the values that used to define the Democrats because they used to be the party of labor.
Was there a Trump is the perfect embodiment of the id of the American working class. And he works in that behavior, in that way. And I think that's why he's so successful. That's why you have all of these hick.
He's successful because he lies. That's why he's successful. Because he lies and he cheats.
And hillbillies that are voting.
Oh, and also he's a Nepo baby.
For a guy that was born a multi-fucking millionaire. And they can relate more to him. It's because he knows how to tap into that. He bankrupted 3 casinos. Yeah, I don't. What's your point? Like that he's bad at business? I don't think that doesn't have anything to do with it. 100% right, man. Yeah, that's what it is. What about all the business?
I heard that wrong. I absolutely heard that wrong.
Millionaire, and they can relate more to him. It's because he knows how to tap into that. He bankrupted 3 casinos. Yeah, I don't. What's your...
We gotta get a zoom in on this reaction. Hold up.
It's because he knows how to tap into that. He bankrupted 3 casinos. Yeah, I don't. What's your point? Like that he's bad at business? I don't think that doesn't have anything to do with it.
Oh my god, dude! Oh my god, that was too good. That was too good. Wow. What's the talking point on this one again? Shoot. He's well, what's your point anyways, huh? Yeah, that's what I thought.
100% right, man. Yeah, that's what it is. What about all the businesses he's ruined? I mean, what about it? What's the point? I don't even get it. What do you like? Okay, like that's not even what's being discussed.
A single moment.
It's not even what's being discussed, guys. It's not even what's being discussed. What are you guys, fucking stupid? He's too smart. He knew the casino is bad for people, so he let it get bankrupt. He's a fail son on horrible with money, and that's what makes him relatable.
So the cracks came a little at a time and then all at once. You know, the first was my rabbi, who's the best person I know, told me that he loved Trump. And I suddenly realized, well, I guess not every person who voted for him is a racist. Then I was doing a lot of reporting from the South on American.
No, I mean, you're either a self-serving piece of shit or you're dumb. And those are the only people that I think are voting for him. This is just the Sam Cedar Jubilee video again, where unless you are a millionaire, like a multimillionaire, billionaire, or an ethno-nationalist, like a religious fundamentalist ethno-nationalist, or one other group, and I'm forgetting the third one that he listed, voting for Trump was a stupid decision.
Unless you're a billionaire, a religious fundamentalist, or a xenophobic nationalist, voting for Trump was a mistake.
So yeah, I mean, there are people who are racist that voted for him because they like that he's racist, and they're also racist. And then the rest of the people are just dumb. Kamala's fake black. First of all, besides the fact that you're wrong, and I don't even know what the fuck fake black means, what does that even, why does that even matter? Like literally, how does that fit into the discussion of Trump voters? Some Trump voters are racist. What does that even, I don't even know. Are you trying to tell us that you're the racist Trump voter? I don't understand what the purpose of you saying this is. I guess we'll find out. I guess we'll find out if they say anything.
Polarization. And what I found was a lot more united.
Oh, they're saying that because they think that we like Kamala Harris? Sorry, Kamala Harris? This is my favorite Trump voter. The type of voter that thinks that anyone who doesn't like Trump must love Kamala. Like they can't fundamentally understand that you can dislike both, but also recognize that Trump is a worse decision. It reminds me of that chatter that came in yesterday and said like, but yet Obama. And it's like, do you think we like Obama, you fucking imbecile? No. No.
Americans then divided us, even in this moment. It was really the elites who were polarized, but average Americans were very united. And then the kicker was in 2018, I saw a Yale study. And in this Yale study, it found that
this is again what I was saying, is that average people do see it this way. They do look at it this way, and they think to themselves like, okay, well, a lot of people like feel like outsourcing and like offshoring different types of like just development and business. This has come, the perspective of offshoring business and outsourcing things to other countries. The perspective that the average American has is that this has come at the expense of the worker and to the benefit of the, top 1%.
Yeah, and then they voted for the candidate that would make things worse. So who do you like? An idealistic, perfect candidate that doesn't exist? No, I like candidates like Bernie. I like candidates like AOC. Now, Bernie did run for presidency, and I voted for him in the primary. But like, if he can't win, he can't win, right? Basically, anyone that can call out the fucking scumbags in politics that are only trying to benefit themselves. I voted for Kamala, but I can't convince every single person to go and vote for her. Like, do you expect like my vote to have single-handedly been worth 10,000 votes? Like, I don't know what you want. Like, I can dislike Kamala, I can dislike Trump, and also recognize that Trump is a billion times worse, which is why I voted for her. But like, I don't know what to tell you. When she runs on a bad policy and people don't want to vote for her because she's running on a bad policy, what the fuck am I supposed to do? How is me voting for her, which I did do, gonna fix her bad policy? Like, I can't do more. I don't know what you expect from me. I can't make her have a campaign that appeals to more people.
People felt it? Well, regardless of like what you like, oh, it did, it didn't, that's not the point. This is what people think. I've been saying this shit for like a decade. A lot of people have been saying this for a very long time. Yeah, it's a very, very common line of reasoning.
Difference between how white liberals and white conservatives talk to Black and Hispanic Americans. And here was the difference. White liberals dumb down their vocabulary.
They don't even know what the word computer is
when they're talking to Black or Hispanic people.
So?
And white conservatives don't do that. They use a lower level of vocabulary. It's called presenting lower competence. They use smaller words when they're talking to Blacks and Hispanics than they do when they're talking to white people. This is white liberals. But white conservatives don't do that. And I remember looking at this and thinking, and we, the liberals, call them the racists? This is the most racist thing I ever heard. Yeah. And it was an indictment of the entire...
Yeah, they don't know where the DMV is. How can you expect them to get an ID? They can't find a DMV.
That's not the argument about getting IDs and voter registration. That's not the argument. The argument is not that people can't find the DMV. It's that most people don't want to go to the DMV and wait for fucking hours. Huh?
DMV.
And the most transparent grift award goes to...
Progressive worldview, which is based on this idea that minorities require the largesse and the beneficence of white progressives in order to thrive. And that was really a moment where
the reason why they have that thinking is because it puts them in the virtuous position that they want to be in. It's not because it's true. It's simply because their worldview is built around them being the savior, so they can feel good about themselves.
Wow, there's something really wrong with the left as it is, and came to see that it was President Trump who wanted to implement agenda items that would restore dignity to working class Americans. That's what this entire agenda is about. That's what these tariffs are about.
And so do you think that others are coming around to this opinion? Like, obviously you hear feedback.
Yeah, you're not going to get people that are working class to think that these tariffs are bad if you tell them that, well, stocks are going down. They don't care about stocks.
They're mad because things are going to get more expensive and they're going to lose their jobs. Then they already dislike them. They don't dislike them because of the stocks, dude.
They care about like groceries. They don't have stocks.
From a lot of people.
So the response to my Free Press column has been overwhelming. And I actually wanted to ask you, Dana, why do you think that is? Why do you think that this idea of a MAGA lefty is resonating so much with so many conservatives?
Well, I don't think it's that surprising.
Well, it's not at all. And this is at least, like for me, this is the way that at least I feel. Like I'm like very far left with economic policy. Like I'm universal basic income. I mean, can you be any more left?
I'm against universal basic income. Can you be any more left? Okay, he must be sarcastic. He must be being sarcastic.
Than that. And so like, but I only want it for Americans. Like basically, I want the government to only act in the best interest of like our citizens.
He said he's in favor? Wait, I'm sorry. Go
like,
back.
I'm universal basic income. Like for me, this is the way that at least I feel. Like I'm like very far left with economic policy. Like I'm universal basic income. I mean, can you be?
Oh, okay. It was just like garbled. It sounded like against, but he said,
very far left with economic policy. Like I'm universal basic income.
I'm universal basic income, which sounded to me like I'm against universal basic income. Okay. All right. He is I am universal basic income.
Can you be any more left than that?
And yes, you can be more left than universal basic income. That is actually a libertarian position. In the way that we present it, where you have to cut all social safety nets and then give people a flat rate, that's closer to like libertarian Yang presentation than it is left-leaning positions. Left-leaning positions suggest that people should have all of their needs already met, such that they don't need universal basic income. But whatever.
So like, but I only want it for Americans. Like basically, I want the government to only act in the best interest of like our citizens and never do anything that could compromise the well-being of our citizens for the best interests of other citizens and other people in other countries. So like no migrants, no unnecessary immigration, no foreign payments, no foreign aid, get rid of all of that and make sure that we're getting, domestic aid and helping those people, right? It should be that. And that's the way that I feel. That's my value system. What is an American? A citizen of America. So a person who lives in America, who is a citizen of the country that can legally vote. So if you've come here on a green card, you're not really an American. If you've come here illegally, you're not really an American. If you're visiting, you're not really an American. What I'm talking about are people that are citizens of the country. Yeah, kids aren't American? What? I mean, kids, of course, kids would be citizens. What do you mean? All countries should be like that? Said, yeah, the fact that you had to ask that question. Yeah, Chatter is an American. Yeah, basically, right? Oh, you said vote? Well, yeah, it's a collection of things.
Maybe when he said he's on the left, yeah, maybe you're right, Chad. Maybe he meant that he's a national socialist. Maybe that's what he meant when he said that he's on the left.
Because we are living through a political realignment. And when you go through a realignment, it takes 10 to 15, 20 years for it to happen. And so to me, I think it's just maybe a little bit of the natural order of things. And partly because I don't think it's that presidents didn't care about the working class. I do think a lot of it had to do with identity politics and the woke liberalism and also trying to take rights away from parents. And that has been a big issue. So anyway, that's my 2 cents. Do you have 2 cents?
You need to write a piece for the Free Press. But you wear your MAGA Lefty label now with pride. I do. Thanks for sharing.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you guys so much.
I don't like this woman. She gives me really bad vibes.
Perspective.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I'm Steve Deuce.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like...
I think honestly for me, it's that she kind of has like, she's got kind of like the gamer gun, which immediately throws me off. Like she's kind of repping I can't even really do it correctly. But you see what I mean? She's like, I can't really. She does it much better than I do it. She does it much better than I can do it. Mm-hmm.
Your MAGA Lefty label now with pride.
I do.
Thanks for sharing.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you guys
Okay,
so
it's
much.
interesting
Thank
perspective.
you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I'm Steve Deuce.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's pretty much the way that a lot of people feel. And, you know, again, arguing from the perspective of like, oh, taxes are really high or something like that, you know, or sorry, stocks are down. Oh, like people don't give a
I like how Fox News has been doing nothing but talking about how the Dow is down and the stocks are down and he's the worst president in the world because Biden is the worst president in the world because the stocks are down. I mean, Trump literally said if the Dow drops 500 points in a day, you should immediately be fired. And then it proceeded to drop, what, 1,000 points in a day? 2,000 points in a day?
shit about that. They're not going to care about that one way or another because they don't have stocks in a lot of cases. The prices of everything, specifically groceries, are going to go up like 2x. We'll have to wait and see. I think so. I think there's a good chance that could happen. Yeah, it could go up a lot. It's tougher than straw manning. Building up your opponent's argument to make it as strong as possible, the better than they can.
He meant if it dropped by exactly 500. Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Oh, so I'm defending it. Well, I'm not really defending it or not. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with the tariffs. I mean, I'll say that the tariffs are massively destabilizing. And of course, people are really worried about them. And yeah, I mean, I can see why they're worried. I think it makes a lot of sense.
And then it cuts off. Excellent. We don't need any more. Oh.